Shauna here, bringing you some Pilates preps and progressions today. So what we're going to talk about first is, the head nod was an exercise 9 in the warm-up. And you might think a head nod is not really an exercise, but actually it is, because it prepares us for that movement that we're going to do in an ab prep, which we're going to do shortly. So let's go ahead and get started with ab prep. We're going to be on our back, and I would encourage you not to try to move your feet too close, okay? Nice distance here. And as we first take a look at neutral spine, let's just rock. Neutral spine. I have a space right here. This is my neutral spine. Maybe yours isn't. Maybe yours is closer to the floor. But that's not the way we imprint. When we imprint, we use our obliques instead of pressing it down. But the thing is, we're going to try to maintain this neutral during ab prep, which is going to be really hard, okay? So let's begin. Inhale to lengthen the back of the neck. Exhale as we come up to ab prep. Inhale to stay. On our exhale, coming down. Inhale, head nod. Exhale up, shortening the distance between hip and rib. Take an inhale here. Exhale down. I want you to be careful not to let the shoulders right up. It's a bad habit of mine. Inhale to head nod. Exhale to come up. Inhale to stay. Exhale to come back down. Are you keeping neutral? Let's do 2 more. Think about that right here. Inhale for the head nod. Exhale for the prep. Take an inhale here. Exhale down. That was a good one. I felt my neutral holding. Inhale, head nod. Exhale to come up. Inhale to stay. Exhale down. Nice. Rocking up. So what is the ab prep really a prep for? Well, it's a prep for the hundreds for sure. Now here's the difference though. In hundreds, we are going to do that imprint. So remember, we're not rocking into it. We're using our transverse abdominis, our obliques, and our pelvic floor to create that compression, that crazy stability for what we're going to do in the hundreds. Okay? So let's assume that position. Inhale to head nod. Exhale to come up and ab prep. Inhale as we imprint and pick up the knees. Exhale as we take the legs out on a diagonal. Toes pointed, please. So we're going to inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want, you can take legs open on the inhale, close them on the exhale. You can bring them down and up. You could just stay. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, imprinting nicely. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do one more set. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to stay. Exhale, knees come in. Inhale down. Exhale, return. Very nice. Rocking up. So the next preps that we're going to do are the breaststroke preps. There are 3 of them. First with hands here, second with hands at our sides, and then the third with hands here, which is more difficult. Okay? I'm going to ask you to have your feet together, snugged, toes pointed, make it pretty. Okay? So as we come onto our belly, or the prone position, starting with hands under the shoulders, feet together, toes pointed, your head is just resting on the mat. Inhale to tighten the abs. Exhale, think of pushing a marble out with the nose lengthening through the crown. Take an inhale here. Exhale down. So we're working on thoracic spine movement, right? Thoracic spine work. Relax at the bottom. Inhale here, abs on. Exhale to rise. That lowest rib stays on the mat or maybe barely comes up. We're not going into lumbar, just thoracic. Inhale to stay. Exhale down. One more here. Inhale, abs on. Exhale to lengthen and lift a bit. Inhale to stay. Exhale down. Moving into breaststroke prep 2. Hands will be at the sides, palms facing the body. It's more like a dart. So at the bottom, what we do is we round the shoulders. I'm looking down, face down, rounding the shoulders, totally relaxed, right? Inhale, abs on. Exhale as we reach with the fingertips, reaching with the crown in the opposite direction like a dart. Take an inhale here. Exhale, return, shoulders relax. Inhale, abs on. Exhale, reaching like that dart. Long, not up. Inhale here. Exhale, returning, shoulders relax. One more. Inhale here. Exhale as we reach for that dart position. Inhale here. Exhale, returning. Nice. And our last breaststroke prep before we go into full breaststroke is with our hands under the forehead, more intense. So, fingertips at your forehead. Inhale, abs on. Exhale to lift. Inhale here. Exhale, release. Inhale, abs on. Exhale, rising. Inhale to stay. Exhale, return. Let's do one more like that. Inhale, abs on. Exhale as we lift. Inhale to stay. Exhale, coming down. Hands under the shoulders. Let's just take a shell stretch before we go into full breaststroke. Should feel super good. As we come up, preparing for breaststroke, starting with hands here, we're just going to reach and sweep. It's going to be awesome. So starting with head down, inhale here, exhale to push that marble out with the nose and reach the arms. Inhale to sweep them down by the sides and lift up even more. Exhale to return and relax. Inhale, abs on. Exhale to reach, sweeping the arms on a nice inhale. Exhale to return and relax. Inhale, abs on. Exhale to reach, sweep, and return. One more. Inhale. Exhale to reach. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, return. Very nice. Shell stretch. Coming up, preparing for half roll back. So the half roll back looks easy, but it's harder than one would think. So this is our starting position right here. Notice it's not here. So what we're going to do is, I want you to notice that difference between here and here while we rock onto our sits bones, because we're not going to do this. When we get to the open leg rocker, we will do that, okay? So when we begin our starting position, you're not going to lean over this. We want to keep as much space between the ASIS and the femurs. So we actually want to create that spinal flexion now, arms parallel to the floor, right here. So this is our beginning position. Inhale here. Exhale as we roll back, keeping the arms parallel. Shoulders have a tendency to hunch. Let's watch that. Inhale here. Exhale as we come forward, keeping the space here as we round over. Notice it's not this, okay? Inhale here. Exhale as we roll back, shoulders down. Take an inhale. Exhale, keeping that space, coming forward. Trying to keep the arms parallel. Inhale to stay. Exhale as we roll back. Inhale here. Exhale, coming forward. And one more. Inhale here. Exhale as we roll back. Inhale here. Exhale as we come forward. All right. Now that is the half roll back. It's kind of the prep for the roll up, which I love. So normally I would have a stick. I don't know why I don't have a stick today, but if you have a stick, broomstick or something, actually makes it so much easier. So it's going to be harder for me today, but oh well. So what this is working on is that smooth flow of strength between abs and hip flexors. so that we're not separating the two. We want them working together in concert. All right? So what we would really like to have is a stick between our hands. And when you take this position, the first thing, if you just lay your arms overhead, say, hey, is my rib cage exploded? Is it all, did it do this? Remember one of the principles of Pilates, rib cage alignment. So while you're here, if you want to take your arms overhead, see where that point is to where you lose that connection. Maybe you can go all the way back, maybe not, but that's your starting point, okay? Feet are dorsiflexed. We inhale to come up. I'd be holding a stick right now. And exhale as we come over. Inhale here. Exhale as we come all the way back. Inhale up. Exhale coming over. Inhale here. Exhale coming down. So we're going to come up and talk about this before we do any more, because look what's happening when I come up. When I come up, look what I'm not doing. I'm not rocking onto the sits bones. Again, this is trying to keep the total spinal flexion there as we come here. So you're not going to pike up here. Okay, so let's do a few more. Feet dorsiflexed. Inhale up. Exhale to reach for the feet. Inhale here. Exhale to come down. Inhale up. Exhale to come over. Inhale back. Exhale down. One more. Inhale over. Exhale, keeping that space right here. Inhale here. Exhale down. Very nice. Rocking up to a seated position. All right, so for our last one, oh yeah, it's not the last one. We have two more. So rollover prep and rollover. So we did a roll up, different than a rollover. I have trouble with the two still. Once I pass my final certification test, hopefully I'll remember all that very clearly. So the prep for me is actually harder, and everyone's different. So I'm going to show you the prep. So we cross the legs, cross the feet at the ankles, and you know who you are. You know I can do this, cheat by pressing, so we don't do that. So if you're a cheater, you want to maybe think about palms up, okay? So it's really actually simple, not easy, but simple. So it's just an inhale here, exhale to contract, that shorten that space between ribs and hips, and lift. So it's inhale here, exhale to lift. See, I can push. So if I put my hands down, woo, I can do that. We don't want to do that, okay? So inhale here, exhale, just the abs working. Inhale down. Exhale. A couple more like this. Exhale as you come up. Inhale down. Exhale here. Okay, knees into the chest. So, before we actually execute the roll over, we need to talk about this knob between your cervical spine and your thoracic spine. So it's the last one, the C7. It sticks out, so I want you to touch it and feel it. That is not where we roll onto. Okay? We need to roll up to the space on the scapula and the thoracic area, but we do not roll up onto the neck. So some of you may be limited in this, and that's not a big deal. So maybe you just don't want to do that. The prep is obviously hard. Okay, but when we do this, I want you to remember, initially we're going to roll over and feet are parallel to the floor. The extra step is if you can take the feet to the floor or not. And what you won't see from the side view is that when I lift my feet up, I'm going to spread them apart, but I will verbally cue that. So let's attempt to do the rollover now, okay? So we're going to start with our diagonal position. So we inhale for the head nod. Exhale to come up for ab prep. Inhale, legs come up on the imprint. Exhale, shoot the legs out. This is our beginning position. Now again with the hands, whatever you need to do. You might need the help here. I like them up or down, however, but here's what we do. Head is down. Inhale to sweep the legs over, parallel to the floor. On the exhale, see if you are able to touch them to the floor. Inhale to bring them up and separate. Now my feet are hip width apart. And on the exhale, I start rolling down one vertebrae at a time. I'm not using my hands for support here. It's all abs. Coming back to our beginning position with an imprint. Inhale, sweeping the legs over to parallel. Exhale, see if you can dorsiflex, touch the floor. Inhale to bring them up and separate. Exhale, now rolling down. Each vertebrae must hit the mat. Returning to your diagonal. Inhale to sweep over. Exhale to dorsiflex and touch if you are able. Inhale to raise up, feet come apart. Exhale as we start articulating down through the spine. Coming back to our diagonal position, feet together. One more like that. I'd like to fix my shirt first. One more like that. Inhale to come over. My shirt just went up anyway. Exhale to touch the floor if you're able. Inhale, bring feet up, separate. Exhale, rolling down now. Very nice. Returning to our beginning position, knees into the chest, rocking up. Okay. So for our last prep and progression is my goal pose. Swan dive is my goal movement. It is so hard. It is so hard to get that unchanged half circle position with your body. So we're going to do a couple of preps for swan dive first, and then we're going to see how I do with the swan dive. We will see. So this is all about glutes. And the warning before we start, if you have a bad L4, L5, you're going to have to turn your abs on like you've never turned them on in your life. Because when we're on our belly, and I'm going to ask you to raise your lower body up with your glutes, if the abs aren't on, it's just going to crunch L4, L5, right? Your abs have to be on. Okay, so we're going to start in swan dive prep. You'll notice first, this time my legs are laterally rotated, turned out, and wide. We will have better glute activity with that, okay? Our hands are not going to be under our shoulders. They need to be out a little bit for our swan dive prep. We need to be in full extension. So right away, abs on, okay? Abs on. So I want your shoulders down. We don't want this. We want this. So in our first position, glutes are already on, right? Abs on. We're going to inhale here. Now this is swan dive slow rock. My hands stay on the mat. I'm just going to come down and attempt to engage my glutes and raise my lower body up. So we inhale here. On the exhale, glutes come up. Inhale here. Exhale, glutes come up. Inhale here. Exhale, glutes. Inhale here. Exhale, glutes. Okay. You can take a little shell stretch. If your glutes weren't burning and your low back was firing, your abs weren't on. I'm just telling you. If your glutes weren't burning and your low back was firing, your abs weren't on. So take a little shell stretch for glutes and low back. And come up. And the next thing that we're going to make an effort at is called rock and catch. I won't know until I see the side view of the video how not perfect mine is, but everyone has a starting point, right? So this is my goal pose, and I would like to do another one shortly after this that's superior in execution. So let's see how I do with the rock and catch, swan dive rock and catch. So we start prone again, laterally rotated feet, toes turned out, feet wide, better glute activity, okay? Again, here's our prep. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to try to catch. So abs on, inhale here, exhale as we come up and catch. Come up and catch. Come up and catch. Two more, inhale here, exhale. So the true swan dive would be if we would have the arms out. Two more. Shell stretch. Hope your glutes are burning. Mine were totally burning there. So that is my lesson for today on the preps and progressions. There will be more, and hopefully every single time you see me here, the swan dive will be a little bit better. So feedback is welcome. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.